talk is bubbling with joy. And I got this because, first of all, we don't give ourselves enough time to be in that moment of joy. You know, we seem to allow children, well, it's fine for them. It's fine for them to have joy. Well, no, it's fine for us to have joy. And it seems that joy is something that we all want and we all strive for. And here's the deal. Joy doesn't come from striving. Joy doesn't come from striving. Joy comes from being attuned to the natural rhythm of rest and relaxation. But how often do we crow, I'm so busy, my life is so busy, and we say it as if it's a badge of honor, you know, as if being busy implies that we are so needed, so valued, so important. And it makes me wonder and pause, is there really this unsaid thought that being busy means that we are successful? Being busy, does it mean that we are successful? I found this author, his name is Wayne Muller, and he's written this book entitled Sabbath, Finding Rest, Renewal, and Delight in Our Busy Lives. And he writes about our cultural perception of success, and I want to share this quote with you. A successful life has become a violent enterprise. We make war on our own bodies, pushing them beyond their limits. War on our children because we cannot find enough time to be with them when they hurt and are afraid and need our company. War on our spirit because we are too preoccupied to listen to the quiet voices that seek to nourish and refresh us. War on our communities because we are fearfully protecting what we have and do not feel safe enough to be kind and generous. War on the earth because we cannot take the time to place our feet on the ground and allow it to feed us, to taste its blessings and give thanks. Really powerful statement, and really, to my understanding, quite accurate of how our culture is in the world today. And the really interesting thing about being busy is it's fear-based. Did you hear me? It's fear-based. And I say that because it's as if we pause for a moment of mindfulness and rest, we fear that we're no longer going to matter or be needed. We have been conditioned in our culture to be accomplished, to be productive, to consume. And the fear is that we have to continuously strive to be successful, and anything else means failure. So if we are so busy doing, getting, consuming, where do we have time for joy? Joy comes from the wellspring within us. Joy comes from the wellspring within us. And this wellspring needs to be replenished. And how is it replenished? Through rest and relaxation. That is how it's replenished. The overworked, over-responsible, over-accumulating, over-wanting life that we live is really taxing on our bodies, our minds, our souls. So the need for rest is really normal. But we spend a lot of time resisting in our psyche that ability to take time to rest. It's almost as if a part of ourselves fears that stillness, that quietness, as if it really means that there's emptiness within us. So could it be that that feeling of that aching void is something that we run from? And the way that we run from it is we constantly fill it with things to do, the tasks, the work, the jobs, the I must, the I shoulds, so that we don't experience that. But I'm here to tell you that that void, that is our birthing place. that is our birthing place for wisdom and creativity. The breath of God needs that void to breathe us. So it's not something that we need to run from. So right now and right here, we have a defining moment in front of us. Do we challenge the cultural belief that the desperate, non-stop activity is required for us to be successful? Do we challenge that? How many times have we said to ourselves, well, when I'm ... I will be able to relax. I will be able to have some fun. I'll be able to be joy-filled. You know what I'm saying. When I retire, I hear that an awful lot. When the kids are finally out of the house. When I finish school. These are all the things that we say, and we put these barriers and blockages in front of us to prevent us from claiming joy now. So I'm here to tell you that joy is our birthright. Joy is our birthright. And we can make the decision right now that joy, the time for joy is now, not someday or one day. So of course, you know, I had to go to the New Testament. You guys have not heard me talk about the New Testament in a while, so I should not be hearing any moans. But I went to the New Testament and I looked and saw, well, where does it say that joy is our birthright? And I found in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23, which writes this. By contrast, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There is no law against such things. So just to give you a little backdrop, Galatians, it's a letter from the Apostle Paul to the people of Galatia. And he's writing this letter to remind them of their truth. He's reminding them that they have embraced a new level of consciousness. They have embraced a new level of consciousness, and so therefore they do not need to be concerned about what others say is truth, what others say is the law. They are beyond that. He is reminding them that they have been called to a new freedom. And he's using fruit trees to symbolize that being aligned in our Christ frequency, we have spiritual fruits. We have spiritual fruits. So what do we know about fruit trees? We know that fruit trees are created to only produce what they are created to produce. So for example, if we have an apple tree, what is that going to bear? Apples, right. Not peaches. No, thank you for that clarification. So when Paul speaks of the spiritual fruits, what he's saying is that we can infer that once we are aligned with our divinity and our truth, aligned in that Christ frequency, what are we going to bear? Spiritual fruits. We don't have to work for it. It's who we are. And so it's natural for us not just to be of love, but to be of joy, gentleness. And the more that we claim our divinity, the more that we are aligned with our truth, those fruits get larger and sweeter, just like they do on trees, right? So that's our truth. So I hope you can come with me and decide that joy is within us, and that we can make that decision to claim that joy within us. And, you know, it's practical Christianity, practical spirituality we talk about in Unity. So, you know, I have to give you some steps, right? And the steps aren't all that new, but what the steps do is it grounds us in reminding us what's our truth. So the steps that I'm going to be talking about ground us in that we are joy-filled, that it is our birthright. So the first step that I want to talk about is that we create a new story. That we create the new story, which is a successful life is being able to rest, relax, and take care of ourselves. That's a successful life. I don't know about you, but that sounds a lot better than what we've been doing. And we can use a mantra to kind of help us remember this new truth, which is, I am willing to create a wellspring of joy within me through relaxation and self-care. All right, so we're changing our thinking a little bit, so this is good. And so the next thing that I want to talk about, the next step that we can try to do here is the gratitude list. We've talked about the gratitude list for how many decades, right? Why do we talk about the gratitude list? We talk about the gratitude list because what it does is it allows us to shift our consciousness. So, for example, if I am looking for the reasons that I can be grateful today, then I am aware that I have enough and I am enough. And if I have enough and I am enough, it takes me off of that hamster wheel of I've got to. Do you see that? We've done that shift of I have enough, I am enough. So I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to have fun. I am allowed to have moments of mindfulness. No guilt, no shame. I have enough. I am enough. All right, and then what I've got here is another step we can take is let go of what is no longer working for us. So if our to-do list is growing and our joy is diminishing, let go of the list. It's that simple. Let go of the list. I don't know about you, but I am very list-driven. And I work at this. So, ministers always preach what they're doing. They always preach what they're working on. And if they tell you anything else, I'm not so sure about that. So, it came to me the other day, do I want to be known in my obituary as Reverend Sherrie completed her list? No. I want to be known for being the light and the love with everyone that I interact with. I want to be known for inspiring those joyous moments in even the smallest of things. That's what I want to be known for. So if the lists are not working for you, let it go. Let go of the things you no longer need. Let go of the things that you no longer need to do. Because we have that it moves from the completed list to the next list. Oh, I'll do it this time. And you complete the list and it moves again to, well, obviously you don't need to do it. Let it go. Don't keep it like that albatross wearing you down, like I can't have fun because I haven't completed my homework yet. That's where we get that from, isn't it? We have to come home from school, do our homework, and then we can play. No. One of the things that I love about children is they compliment themselves. They compliment themselves for breathing. They compliment themselves for figuring out how to put their clothes on. They compliment themselves just because they're alive. They're fabulous. And I got to tell you, I emulate kids as often as I can, So if it's taking that moment to just look at the lightning bug, I still get joy out of looking at lightning bugs. Taking that moment to be in that sunset or the sunrise. Those are joyous moments. And then I go, good for you. You just saw that sunrise. Aren't you amazing? That's right, because these are the things that we want. We have to compliment ourselves and give ourselves permission. Often as adults, we don't give ourselves permission and compliment ourselves as those are things that are important as well. They are. They are so vital. The other thing that I thought of was to allow ourselves to be grace, meaning that we stop judging ourselves and others. That's grace. That when we interact with each other, we see their divinity and their rightness, regardless of what their opinions are. When we see our own divinity, our own rightness, our own abilities, we're really happy. And when we do that with someone else, we honor them and we elicit their own joy. Their own joy. And lastly, step into your calling, people. There is no time to wait. You don't have to wait for the right time. You don't have to wait till you're retired. You don't have to wait for the kids to be gone, grown, in college. Be the passion that you are. Step into your purpose. Step into your calling. Because when you are doing that, when you are doing what you are called to do emotionally, physically, intellectually, spiritually, you can't help but be like me, a nut who just gets excited over the littlest of things, right? Because we are joy-filled. We are doing what is ours to do. It's not like, oh, I've got to wake up and go to this stinking job. No. I had to wake up and be the light with my people. That's exciting. That's really exciting. Also, as I was thinking about, well, what things bring me joy? One of the things that I came up with were sunflowers. Every time I see a sunflower, I just smile. It's automatic. I don't have to think about it. There's no analyzing. It's just like, oh, sunflower. So what I thought I would do is, Graham and I got you a whole bunch of sunflower seeds. So there's some here, and there's 2 vases in the back also when you're going out that you can grab a handful and plant them. You're planting joy, my friends. Yes, you're planting joy. So whether you plant it for yourselves or you plant it for someone else or your neighbors or you plant them around the church, wherever you are planting joy. So take as much handfuls as you want. We've got a huge bag. You can wrap them in your bulletin and take them with you and just plant them. There's no big deal. I talked to Roger today, who's our plant expert. He told me a couple of things I didn't really want to hear, but so I'm just going to. What he did say is there's no biggie in planting them. You just plant them. You just gather them. The birds do it for us as they eat the seeds. So don't make this a to-do thing. That's not it. Not one more thing on the list. This is about just spreading some joy and seeing what happens. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so glad that you're here.